So I've got a lot of the metal work ground down here. Got it ground down to bare metal, and I'm going to use a dedicated, little dedicated weld machine here to pull on some of these low spots, because with this metal being double lined, it's just real difficult to get in the back side of it. So I'm going to weld some tiny little divots on there and pull on it a little bit and see what happens. So, starting to come up a little bit. These work real good on real light, small, easy to pull areas. Obviously that wouldn't clean very good. Popped right off, so I need to clean that better. But it brought it up a little bit. Got to be careful with them though, because it can make a lot of high spots. So now I can massage those down a little bit and work with it. But that's a dedicated stud gun. Basically what it is it's just a little machine that's all hooked up here. You place a ground on your metal panel that you're working with, and then it just sends an electric, it's kind of like a tiny welder, and it'll just weld that right on there real quick, so you can use it as kind of like a little pull tool. This little snap-on unit's kind of old, but it still works really good. So I use it from time to time. I just wanted to pull it out and show you. We'll also talk about stud guns using the later model stud guns, which are, you'll actually weld a nail on there to pull it. And those work real well, but kind of more than something I probably should have tried on this one before I ground it down was maybe glue. Glue pull has become a really big deal. We use a lot of glue pulling anymore for smaller dents. The only reason I didn't on this one is there was just a lot of creases in it and it was just kind of ugly, so I chose not to. Knew I'd be doing body work to it anyway, so that's the route I went with it. So anyway, we'll move on to the next step here in a minute. So get that all cleaned up. One thing you're going to hear me talk a lot about is cleanliness and quality of your work. Even though I'm getting ready to apply body filler over this and nobody's ever going to see it, I want you to take your very best time as you prepare your metal. There's something about when you go through and take the time and do the process properly and go that extra mile for that quality work is so very important. So you're going to hear me a lot of times, even though you're grinding metal, or I did hit it with some 50 grit, on a little angle head, but now I've got 80 grit here. I'm gonna 80 this a little bit and just make sure all my edges are soft and feather edged and totally ready to go. I want this to look really nice before I put my body filler on it. You're going to hear the term feather edge. Feather edge is when we take and soften this edge up really nice. Oh, sorry. Weird noises. Notice also I taped off this tail light while I'm working on it. But I'm going to soften these edges up and almost look like you can see the layers of paint where I feather edge that back. That's what we call feather edge. Notice here I've got a tiny little low spot right there I need to address before I put my body filler in here. Typically, body filler needs to be applied on bare metal only. I'm using Rage Ultra, which is the best body filler, and it is okay to put it on over the edge of paint. So now I'm going to come back with a little bit of 180, and I'll 180 this edge right here, and then I'll be ready for my body filler. And that'll be in my next video, is the body filler application.